Piece of tip, you already know. All of that good stuff. Yeah. So again, following this graph that I drew, I'm gonna take you through the dimensions, yeah, and the certain what star seeds have influence on what dimension and so forth and so on, yeah. So in the 12th dimension we've got our spiritual source, yeah. This is the this is like the this is like the dimension that's always moving, innit? Like it ain't even, it doesn't even look back. It doesn't even look back at all the other dimensions, really. Or another way you can see it is that this is the dimension that projects all of the other dimensions. You know, it's connected to the, how do you say it, man? The original space, and it's connected to space, just space, you know. Source spirit, you know. So you can either see it as the projection of everything, or you can see it as the direction of everything, you know. And that's like your 12th dimension. And as I've mentioned in another video, there are a lot of like spirits. This is like your spirit dimension. There was a lot of spirits that were fashioned in this dimension, let's just say. And a spirit is no thing. It's nothing. It's no thing. It's just a way of doing. It's just a way of doing things, isn't it? That's basically your spirit. It's your way of doing things. Yeah. So then from there we've got like your 11th dimension, yeah. And then this is also your spirits, but this is your spirit that's now cooled down, yeah, from its movement and its projection of the 12th dimension. It's cooled down and it's now got a vision, if you get what I'm trying to say. It's got a vision, it's got something it wants to experience. Something it wants to experience, yeah. So your this is like your this is like your Arcturians, innit? This is like your Arcturians, innit? Like your visionaries, you know? They're very spiritual and very moving, fast, mental beings, yeah. But they've got a vision. Um they've got a vision with what they're doing. You know what I'm trying to say? They're very mind based. It's a very operational dimension. Let's say, yeah. And this dimension does have a lot of influence within the electromagnetic spectrum of the planet that we live on right now, you know. This is from your Arcturians. And then from across from there, you've got your 10th dimension, yeah. So this is where you've now got the vision, and then now you're working on the the spiritual awareness to bring forward this vision, you know. It's like again, it's a mental dimension, but it's a dimension without, because it's about your spiritual awareness and it's about your what you want to experience. It's an influence that doesn't get involved in the direct mechanisms of the mind, if you get what I'm trying to say, in the direct functions of the mind, yeah. So these are like your andromedans, yeah. This is like where the spirit has um expanded again within its structure. It's expanded again, so it starts moving now. So it's building spiritual awareness, like spiritual systems and spiritual functions and all of these things within the mind that can help you to manifest your vision and what you wanted to see from the 11th dimension, yeah. So now we go from there, we go to our ninth dimension. Yeah, this is like your spiritual range. This is, remember, we're talking about your experience here. So this is what you want to see now, the range. Yeah, the range. This involves your awareness of life communication. Yeah, it's like an earth energy, so it's grounded energy. It's like creating bodies, yeah, to go into and experience and touch and all of these sensory spiritual experiences, yeah. This is your ninth dimension. This is like your lyrans, yeah, your lyrans. They're very spiritual beings. They're on the ground working with the earth, they're part of the manifesting, you know so this is your ninth dimension. Yeah. From your ninth dimension, we now have connection to, it's like our checkpoint. We have a connection to the space, to the things that we've now produced. We have a connection and we build that connection around us. We build that communication around us. I'm trying to say, this is like your eighth dimension. Yeah, where you're building your figure eight. You're building your currents. Around you, your connections around you. You're building that connection. Yeah, and this is your awareness of animals, your awareness of aliens, your awareness of the space that you've inhabited, the space that you've come from, you know. And this is in actual form now. It's in form. Everything's in form. So before you had it as a spirit, yeah, just as a way of doing things and seeing, yeah. But now it's in form. You're bringing it all into form, and you're using the surroundings. Yeah, this is like Syrians, your Syrians, yeah, they create the surroundings like your water element, you know. So from that dimension, we go to the seventh dimension. Yeah, this is where you create your inner sun, your inner intentions. Again, it's a very spiritual dimension. What I'm getting is like a more individual dimensions. The dimensions that we just come from, it's part of a spirit family, spiritual family. The seventh dimension is now where you get to go out from that family, so you get to create your own inner sun, your own Merkaba, your own spaceship from that family, and then you get to experience other dimensions. You get to experience a separation, let's say. Yeah, so that separation is where we're gonna now get into the sixth dimension. Yeah, the sixth dimension is like your lower now. How do you say, it's an inverted dimension from what you've come from. So what you've come from is from a connection, from a connection of everything, from space to families to everything. Yeah, so this dimension is like a disconnection, a separation. It's where your light gets separated into the water. Yeah, into the water, let's say. Yeah, so this is your individual gains, your individual wants, what you want individually as a life form, as a spirit, you know. So this is where your Orion comes involved. Yeah, this is the sixth dimension where your Orion comes involved, your dominator, your divider, your divide and conquer. This is your Orion. This is your sixth dimension, your sun, the seventh dimension is your inner sun. Yeah, the sixth dimension is like your outer sun. Yeah, the grandest object outside of you. That you're trying to achieve. That's what the sixth dimension represents, and this is like your hominoid awareness. So as you I'm reading it. I'm just reading it from my descent. I'm reading it from my descent, and I'll go back up. Yeah, but it's like we all started as a certain awareness, yeah, and that awareness this start to take different shapes and different forms in it, yeah. The sixth dimension is where that awareness takes its most intelligence, its highest form in a hominoid, version. You know, it gets its connection to everything in a hominoid version. So this is where you now go into your hominoid awareness, your Orion, yeah, your sun, and you start to go through your experience, whatever you've spiritualized in the previous dimension, you go through that experience and you start to conquer. You start to conquer all of these senses, and you start to conquer all of these spiritualizations and all of these dreams that you've had, and these visions that you've had. You start to conquer them. This is like your Orion energy, yeah. And then from your Orion energy, like I said, you always have something you need to conquer. You always have something that's your, how do you say it, because we're going down, it's kind of mad, but on the other way, it will, this energy will be following the sun, if you get what I'm trying to say. So this is now like your fifth dimension. This is like your gold, your abundant plane. This is like your God vision. This is where your treasure is. The fifth dimension is actually where your power is, your treasure, your God. This is your vision. This is what you, fifth dimension, like I said, is very close to the 11th dimension, which is very close to the 12th dimension. Yeah, this is what you've actually come for, if you get what I'm trying to say. This is your fifth dimension. You have an abundance of life forms, you have an abundance of planets, planetary experiences, you have an abundance of elements. This is because everything's interchanging with this dimension, intertwining with this dimension. So it will have a lot to experience in this fifth dimension. You know, this is like where all of the star seeds, or all of your travels will come together. This is where all of your travels will come together. And so where we are now is we're in the fourth, if you see what I'm trying to say. Even how I'm communicating with you using this technology is through the fourth dimension, and where we're trying to get to now is the fifth dimension, you see. So I've just run through like a spiritual system of how I descended into the fifth dimension, so it can also help one also ascend onto the fifth dimension and forward, you know. So yeah, again, peace, hotel, all of that good stuff, you already know.